Hey artists! Did you notice anything different? I am so happy I shot my hair off. It's been so hot here and I just needed a change. So today I'm going to be doing a sketchbook tour, but it's not just going to be one sketchbook because I seem to just gather sketchbooks and I never finish them. They just accumulate a certain amount and then I pick something else up and start using that. So I don't know what's wrong with me. I would love to start from start to finish on one sketchbook, and I aim to do that as one of my goals. In the meantime, I'm going to be showing you different sketchbooks, different things I've done, different media, and if you feel the need to subscribe, hit that subscribe button with all of the notifications so that you know whenever I upload things. Here we go. I hope you enjoy this. We'll start you off with something pretty. Is this it? So these are 3 different sketches that I did of Dominic Howard, Dom Howard of Muse, the drummer from Muse. So I just decided to go ahead and combine colored pencil with graphite because he has these wonderful blue eyes. And if this sounds romantic, it's not really necessarily meant to be. It's just that I get fascinated with people's features and their talent. So that was the thing at the time right now. So anyways, let's go ahead and zoom in so you can see some details. So these 2 were obviously done in graphite, and then I decided to go ahead and use, I believe this was Pablo and Polychromos that I used. I used the Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White to highlight the eyes and just give it that extra punch. I also did this freehand sketch right here. I'm gonna just, yeah, there you go. This was from just a random picture that I found. I really liked it, and so I did it freehand. I did use a proportional divider, and if you don't know what that is, please get yourself one. And maybe I can do a tutorial on it whenever I get a little bit more used to it, because I've only used it a few times, but I can tell you what, it really helps. It really helps to get all the features lined up. If you're questioning your portrait between the room between like the nose and the mouth, for example, the proportional divider will help you out, help you line up those features, and so that'll also just help you improve your skill overall as an artist. So that is not so much, it's not so much a sketch. I mean, it is, but it's more detailed, so it's more of a drawing. That's what it is. That's what they call it. Ah, yes. Jungle Jane. She makes an appearance later. Here she is in all of her glory as a sketch, and I really, really want to turn her into a painting. I've just been debating on whether or not I'm going to do it in oil or gouache, and obviously those are 2 very different mediums, but they would yield different results, and I'm just, I can see it and feel it in my mind, the rich colors. It's just going to be, it's going to be powerful whenever it actually happens. And so she's powerful, obviously, so she's going to end up being pretty intense whenever she's a painting. So for now, we just enjoy her as a sketch. Sort of a fancy couple right here. They're very, very vogue. They're so hot right now. Remember Zoolander? He's so hot right now. Oh yes, yes, another goddess has appeared. Let's talk about this lady right here. I am still trying to figure out her name. Now, my other goddess, Oona, who became one of my paintings in another video, her name came to me very quickly. She has not revealed this yet to me. And so I communicate with my artwork. I don't think it's anything that's out of the ordinary. I think that you should have a connection with your art, really, and become one with it, and really just kind of mesh and get connected with it, because it is a part of you. Oh God, the cat just knocked over a huge bag of food. Oh God. Okay, I know what you did. Yes, my cat knocked the big bag of food over. I can't leave it out, apparently. It was all over the kitchen floor. She is like a vulture whenever it comes to food. I mean, she will just stand there, hover, until she gets some food, and she like seeks it out from the other cats and everything. Like, oh, can I have that? So yes, this goddess has not revealed her name, as I said. And she was just a lot of fun to draw. I just love drawing in blue and making it look like it's glowing from the inside. It's a lot of fun. I like to use different sketch methods. So that's that. We'll see what becomes of her. Okay. Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. So this is Octopus Girl with her octopus hair. It wasn't inspired by anything in particular other than I had an idea that I want the girl to have some octopus in her hair. And I had kind of been hitting a little bit of a slump at the beginning of the year. And this was my first sketch of the year. So it kind of unlocked everything else that happened. And I really enjoyed it. I believe that was done with the Pilot Eno pencils too as well, if I remember correctly. So I just enjoyed doing the hair. I needed something flowy and creative at the same time and kind of surreal. So that's it. That's the story on her. Oh yes, real quick, I did some different types of eyes, and I actually had thought about creating a workshop for you all on specifically just eyes and focusing on the different types of eyes, because whenever we go to YouTube and we type in how to draw an eye, there are some wonderful tutorials, but they all seem to be kind of the same shape of the eye. And, you know, we have different types of eyes. We have deep set eyes, we have monolid eyes, we have, you know, just a kind of just general crease eye, we have the hooded lids, we have almond shaped eyes. It's dependent on two things: how the eyeball is actually positioned in the socket and what size it is. Let me know in the comments if you want a workshop on like drawing different types of eyes. So, oh, my Skexy. This was for a show that I was going to be involved in, and I really liked the rainbow approach with this one. It really worked out really well with his whole raggedy wardrobe there. And here's another creature inspired by Jim Henson from The Dark Crystal. So I did the rainbow approach with that one too. Oh, my little 60s girl. It's more elaborate, more like a drawing, but it is in the sketchbook, and so I still consider it to be a sketch. So I drew her with some really awesome pencils. They are the Marte Essential Color Set, and they're extremely cheap. They're like $8 for 24 pencils, and I believe the 36 set was like 12. They were really good quality. And I thought these would be great to just, you know, for a beginner, or, you know, even if you're an experienced artist with colored pencils, they actually lay down really, really well and they blend really well. So I'll put a link to that video where I kind of review it and everything and go over that. I'll put everything as far as art supplies go in the description box below so that you can remember what I said. Oh yes. So as I was waiting for my son in therapy again, I decided to draw Haley Mary, and if you don't know who she is the vocalist for the Jezebels, and I really like the Jezebels a lot. Yeah, this one wasn't spot on, but I freehanded it from a picture off of her Instagram, and I decided to just wing it and did not want it to be specifically really detailed, and it taught me to, you know, work with a better sense of proportions. And I didn't have my proportional divider there, of course, but I did make a note here. It says needs more space between the bottom of the nose and the top of the mouth. So there was a little bit more space there, and it would have been spot on otherwise. But I think she's a beautiful woman, and I really like her features, so that's why I drew her. So, okay, let's get back to it. Spider-Man. I was appreciating ink a lot, and I had the Pentel brush pen with me and some Micron pens, I believe, but I think most of this was done with that brush pen, and I was just having fun. I was hanging out with a lot of people who love comic books, and I love comic books too, so there you have it. I lost my place. Here we go. So this was kind of something that I just started working on and adding to, and I would love to actually cover the page with women's faces. With women's faces. Yeah, this is it's kind of 90s, kind of, yeah, okay. Take me to an MC Hammer show. I was 10 in 1990. Okay, as I was saying before, I would love to cover the entire page with women, and this is interesting because I did not have a plan. I just started drawing, and I believe I started with her, and she actually reminds me of Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction, and that is one of my favorite movies, and I did 2 paintings of her with the milkshake scene, and Milkshake Diner Scene, and they both sold very, very quickly. And so I don't know, maybe I'll just have to keep doing that. I just really love women of ethnicity, and I think that they're beautiful, and I just love the look of an afro. I don't know what it is. It's just beautiful and kind of wild, and I just love it. And so I hope that you understand that I'm appreciating it, and I'm appreciating the beauty of diversity. So I don't know, I was just kind of like, oh, let's just, add in something else here and something else here and something else here, and I just added to it, and I would love to fill up the page someday. I'm not happy about this one right here. I did not do the Andrew Loomis method with her, and well, just your basic beautiful graphite eye. Yeah, I was also waiting for my son in therapy that week, and I didn't want to do anything huge, so I just specifically worked on this eye. And I love a good eye. I like to draw eyes. It's just a lot of fun. That's probably my favorite part of portraiture, because that's when you get to capture the likeness of somebody and you really get to capture their essence. Okay, so this one is one that I ended up not liking. And it was actually a friend who caught the mistake that I made and kind of, I don't want to say he ruined it. He actually brought it to my attention, which is a good thing, because then I know how to improve. But I really thought that she was pretty cool, and I'm going to zoom this out. So she's got big giant shoulder pads right here, and it was inspired by kind of the edgy fashion from the 80s, and how the women all had like kind of crazy hair and these big giant shoulder pads, big earrings, and bright colors. So I thought she was pretty chic until I realized, I'm going to zoom this in, her ear is way too low on her head. Her ear should be up here lining up with her eyebrows, and I'm not really sure how I managed to do that, because usually my proportions are pretty correct. This is why I need to do the Andrew Loomis approach every time whenever I'm sketching. And but it's good to know our mistakes so that we know how to improve and work from there. That's the only way that we get better, is to fail first. And it's not the only way to get better, but it is one of the ways that we get better, is to fail. Okay, this girl, I don't particularly like how her face turned out. Her face is very wide, and it doesn't look realistic enough to be somebody's face, especially whenever I look at the proportions. The eyes to me look pretty shallow, and they don't look like they're proportionate to her head and the side of her face. But and the nose and the mouth, there's not too much space there. So but this was done with the Derwent black and white pencils. They're so much fun. If you have a chance, grab them. They're great to sketch with. And I really like her hair, though. This was after I watched Stranger Things season 2, and Eleven meets up with the band of misfits, and they all had wild hair. It was kind of inspired by that. So these ladies were inspired by 60s fashion. I love a good mod look. I love the hippie kind of era look, bohemian. I love it all. It's kind of an interesting time aesthetically and many other ways. But yeah, I didn't like the watercolor effect that I intended to use, and I guess I walked away frustrated and never came back to it. And I think we all kind of do that sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel like this might be actually an opportunity to go back and kind of improve on some of these, maybe even finish some of these, or redraw them and take the idea and grow from it. It was a lot of fun to kind of look back on some of these, reminisce and tell you stories about them, and how I was inspired and what I was feeling in the moment, showing you my mistakes, my likes and dislikes about some of the sketches. Perhaps I will have a portfolio version of this where you can kind of see some of my most treasured art and go through that. So if you would like to see that, leave a comment or give me a like, okay? I hope that you've enjoyed this chatty little sketchbook session. So I will be out of town next week. I might have to split this up into 2 videos because I can imagine it's probably longer than what I think it is. So I hope that you have a great day. Keep creating, artists, and I will see you next time.